This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Daoulas Brothers Construction.
Good morning. This is LCTV News. I'm Dani Vittori, and you're in for a treat today. Not only are we exploring several new developments coming to Lynn, but we will also shed some light on the parking situation in the city through an interview with the new parking director. Here's the news for Friday, April 26th, 2024. The City of Lynn, in collaboration with Lynn Creative Cities Partnership, have announced the 2024 round of LynnSpire grants. Applications are being accepted from April 22nd through May 19th, with the grant info session being held on April 29th at 6 p.m. Award recipients will be announced on May 31st. Projects must be completed by December 31st, 2024, with the project report submitted by January 31st, 2025. The purpose of this program is to provide financial support to ideas, concepts, and initiatives which benefit the creative community. Some examples from last year are ethnic festivals, performances, and LGBTQ initiatives. The grants are funded by Mass Development TDI and the Barr Foundation. Beginning this year, the Lynn Police Department will be participating in the Blue Envelope Initiative, created as a way to encourage understanding for drivers on the autism spectrum during traffic stops. The initiative has drivers place all their essential documents, license, registration, etc., into a specially marked envelope so officers will be aware and can tailor their behavior accordingly when speaking with an autistic driver. Anyone with autism spectrum disorder can request an envelope. If they're a minor, a guardian can obtain one on their behalf. Envelopes are free of charge and can be requested at the front desk of the police station or through an online link. Despite the wet weather, the North Shore Juneteenth Association held their 5th annual Black Excellence 5K at Raleigh's Tavern on the Square. It highlights Black Americans' contributions to society and shows that representation matters.
Today is the Black Excellence 5K. It's my second year doing it, and basically, the community is coming together to showcase Black and minority professionals and leaders within the Massachusetts community. To me, it especially means, exposure, more diversification and inclusion within the county and the state. Representation always is good, it matters. And we're here to kind of just showcase that and show ourselves in our true pride.
Any difference between this year's 5K versus last year's at all?
Yeah, it was more rain this year, a lot more water. But other than that, we still had a good turnout. It was a healthy crowd, met some folks and had a good time. I would like to thank all of the coordinators and the schedulers, the Black Excellence Committee, and all of the participating sponsors and committees who put this together for us to participate.
The Belden G. Bly Bridge connecting Lynn to Saugus has been under construction for 3 years and now has a projected completion date of March 2026. This is part of a much larger process, however, as the bridge has been closed to traffic since 2013, when oversight shifted to the State Department of Transportation. Construction has hit several delays and complications, including waiting 2 months for gears to be shipped up from Alabama due to permitting issues. Tidal cycles have also caused setbacks due to the large tidal range. Currently, the contractor, SPS New England, is constructing the movable span of the bridge as well as new counterweights. Vehicles are expected to be allowed back on the bridge this winter, with 2 lanes of traffic in each direction expected to open in the summer of 2025. The final project will sport 4 lanes of traffic, bike lanes, and reliable crossings, coming in an estimated $99.3 million. The first in a series of park cleanups took place at Warren Playground this past weekend. Crews of volunteers will be at a different park every Saturday for the next 2 months as part of the Keep Lynn Clean initiative to support and sustain the vital resources these green spaces provide.
Saturday, April 20th marked the beginning of the annual Lynn Spring Park cleanups, with Warren Street Playground being the first of 10 upcoming scheduled park cleanups throughout the city of Lynn. Running from April to June, these cleanups are sponsored by the Department of Public Works as well as the Litter Committee and feature opportunities for volunteers to provide a clean environment for their neighborhoods and communities. I spoke to several Lynn City officials who participated in this particular cleanup to talk about what this means to them and those around them.
As we kick off the weekend, we probably have over 75 volunteers right now helping clean Warren Street as we kick off our first Saturday of the spring 2024 season. We'll be doing these for the next 9 Saturdays in a row all throughout the city.
It's a great thing. The rain cleared for us. We got a lot of volunteers, and we're doing a deep cleaning today. So you can clean a park and pick up the trash, but we're removing leaves, we're removing dirt, we're removing stuff that's just been stuck in areas around here.
The civic engagement and community involvement piece is a highlight. When you get to see everyone working together to clean up the community park. Again, this is where our children come to play. This is a very family-oriented neighborhood. We have a very active counselors who are just very involved and entrenched in our community because it's important to take care of what we have.
I also spoke with Walmart coach Silvia Abrego, who brought volunteers to help with the cleanup.
Now more than ever, Walmart likes to commit to the city and be more involved with the community. So I'm in charge this year, and I'm very happy to be so. So I contacted Fred Hagen, and we are working together on this. I'm really happy that he helped us get this together.
With Earth Day right around the corner, this cleanup in particular felt like perfect timing. For LCTV News, I'm Josh Englander.
A collaboration between the Division of Banks, the Office of Consumer Affairs and Business Regulations, and the State Treasurer's Office of Economic Opportunity created Operation Moneywise, whose mission is to support veteran programs. They recently announced a new round of funding for veteran-serving nonprofit organizations, public agencies, and higher education institutes to hold financial programming which support military, veteran families, and the survivor community. Organizations can apply for a maximum of $5,000, and if they receive funding, it must be used before March 31st, 2025. Applications are due by May 31st, 2024. This past week was Earth Day 2024, and the city held several events to celebrate, including planting trees at several new locations. LCTV was on the scene for the addition of 2 dogwoods to the shore of Flax Pond on the 23rd. Followed by an Earth Day celebration at Lynn Common, where youth participated in activities that taught them about the importance of sustainability. Earth Day 2024 was celebrated this past week on April 22nd. It has been celebrated nationally since the 1960s as a way to demonstrate support for environmental protection. The City of Lynn held events throughout the week to mark the occasion, including planting trees at 3 locations around the city. One such location is Flax Pond, where 2 new dogwoods were planted against the shining backdrop of the water. This spot is especially impactful for the neighbors, as they dedicated one of the trees to Leda Barr, a 71-year Carter Road resident who passed away in 2023 at the age of 100.
These trees serve so many purposes for the neighborhood and providing shade, cleaning the air, making the space more beautiful, and having them throughout the city is a huge benefit. And the residents of Carter Road, of this neighborhood around Flax Pond, do such amazing work keeping this space beautiful, and it's a huge treasure for the city. Thank you all for what you do to keep the space wonderful.
Yeah.
Happy Earth Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you
For LCTV News, I'm Dani Vittori.
On Tuesday, April 23rd, the city of Lynn gathered near the Frederick Douglass Bandstand on the Lynn Common to celebrate Earth Month 2024. Organizations from the Food Project to the Department of Public Works were present, with tons of activities for kids such as trivia, lawn games, music, city service demonstrations, photos with the Earth mascot, arts and crafts, and more.
All right, last question. How many moons does the Earth have?
All of this helps to promote sustainability for the planet and how to protect the Earth from environmental issues as we continue on into the 21st century. Even with Earth Day happening on Monday, these kind of events are expected to continue on until the end of April. For LCTV News, I'm Josh Englander.
The annual Youth Summer Employment Program is now accepting applications until May 24th. Youth aged 16 to 21 are encouraged to apply for this opportunity to grow professionally and give back to their community. Running from July 8th through August 16th, you can apply for a wide range of jobs based on their interests. This includes, but is not limited to, park counselors, outdoor cleaning crew, landscaping, and plumbing. Years in the making, the VA clinic on Boston Street celebrated the signing of a new 3-year lease between EDIC and Veteran Affairs. Veterans, city officials, and residents alike gathered on a chilly morning to commemorate the importance of keeping this clinic in Lynn.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here on this very special day.
This marks a significant milestone in the journey to better serve the veterans of Lynn and the surrounding communities. And this lease signing is worthy of a celebration. It is significant and it's long overdue, so I am filled with pride that we are finally here and I can see it come to fruition.
We wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for the great work and execution of our economic development team. I want to thank Jim Cowdell, Executive Director of EDIC, and our MC. Thank you. But today is about an even more important mission, taking care of our veterans.
Proximity and access to healthcare matters, and we especially know that for veterans, whether it's survivor's guilt and a whole series of other reasons. Veterans often don't avail themselves of the care they deserve, and it's our job to make sure it's available for them in a way that they can access.
In 2023, over 6,500 veteran encounters and visits occurred at this facility. So we know that this underscores the VA's commitment to meeting the veterans' needs where they live.
We know that those who use VA health care have better outcomes in many ways, including lower rates of suicide. So when we say that the VA health care, that this clinic is a lifeline to our veterans, we're not exaggerating.
I stood on this site when it was first leased many, many years ago. So this is deja vu for me. For many years I volunteered at this clinic, and I know firsthand what it means to the veterans that come here.
There are thousands of veterans that use these services for primary care, mental health care, physical therapy, lab work, and their care is all of our responsibility. Thank you to all the veterans here, all the veterans in our city for your sacrifice and service to this country. Thank you.
On the ice, the sports update. Lynn English hosted the Swampscott Big Blue baseball team and were shut out 8-0 at home. The Bulldogs were unable to grab any hits the first 4 innings and only had won the entire game. English rebounded in a high-scoring 10-6 road win over Malden. Gamalier Calderon struck out 9 in 3 innings of work, tacking on 2 hits and an RBI at the plate. Salem had another crack at defeating St. Mary's, but the Spartans held on for a 2-1 win, preserving their perfect 6-0 record. Kylie Dani had a home run, and Josh Dani recorded 7 strikeouts in 4 innings for the win. They are now 7-0 on the year following a 9-inning thriller 7-3 against Bishop Sang. Pitcher Jordan Zimmerman led the way, going 7 innings, giving up no earned runs. Kip Academy dropped a 9-7 game against Neshoba Tech, despite a home run by Montrell Castro in the first. They squared off with city rival Lynn Tech, doubling up on the Tigers 8-4 for their first win of the year. The Lynn Classical Rams are on a 3-game win streak, first capturing a tight 1-0 victory over Medford off a stellar performance by Alfred Ventura. He earned his first win of the year, allowing 4 hits compared to 8 punchouts on the mound. Christian Figueroa went 2 for 3, registering the only RBI of the game. They followed this up with a statement 10-0 victory against Chelsea. 4 Rams pitchers combined for a 1-hitter, while another 2 registered their first varsity hits. Finally, besting Revere 8-3, where Ventura hit a grand slam in the first, and Yoniel Cabrera knocked in 3 more in the 5th. On the other end, their softball team pounded Chelsea 24-1 on the road. Contributions came from across the lineup, highlighted by Naveth Eith going 3 for 3 with a homer, triple, 6 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. This was followed by a hard 16-3 loss to Revere. In similar fashion, Bulldog softball remained hot, knocking over Malden 18-2. 5 English players recorded hits, led by Kate Johansson and Ariana Leboy, with 3 RBIs apiece. A tight 5-4 game ended in favor of host Medford on the 24th. Tech softball grabbed their first win of the year in style, overpowering Cristo Rey 22-7. The Tigers scored 16 runs in the first inning, including Zoe Wilson going 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs. While St. Mary's showed off their power in a 15-3 victory against Bishop Stang to make it 3 in a row. Several Spartans contributed, including Riley Williams, launching a home run and going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. In volleyball, the Rams are 6-2, defeating Medford 3-0 last Friday before suffering their second loss of the season to Chelsea 3-1. Against Medford, 4 classical players had at least 1 ace, including Jonathan Lee, who recorded 10 kills and 2 aces. Versus Chelsea, Jeremiah Vargas had 5 blocks and 4 kills. Both the Lynn Tech girls and boys track and field teams won their meets against Neshoba Valley Tech. The girls 91-28 behind first place finishes from 6 players, and the boys 82-54 where 3 players snagged the top position. And Lynn Lacrosse tripled up on Mystic Valley 9-3. 6 Jets scored, topped by Ian Brown netting a hat trick. Only 26 games into the season, and already the 14-12 Red Sox are giving us whiplash with their streaky play. Boston did sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates on the road. A 6-1 victory saw the Sox string together a successful bullpen game, as the Pirates only scored once in the first before being shut down. The Red Sox barely out-hit them 8-7, but they came at opportune times, including Willer Abreu, who registered 3 hits, a home run, and 2 RBIs in his 5 at-bats. Returning home, they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cleveland Guardians. Their lone win came in an 8-0 shutout on the 24th. Connor Wong was on fire, going 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and 2 homers. The playoffs have begun, and both the Celtics and Bruins began on a high note. Beginning on the hardwood, the top-seeded Celtics topped the 8th-ranked Miami Heat 114-94. The Heat knocked the C's out of the playoffs last year, so this is potential redemption time for Boston. In total, the Celtics netted 22 three-pointers, including 4 in a row by Sam Hauser in the second quarter. 6 players scored in the double digits, led by Jason Tatum, who grabbed 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for his first playoff triple-double. Miami evened out the series, knocking down 23 three-pointers and winning 111-101 in a game where the C's came out flat in the second half, beginning with a 4-minute scoring drought. The Bruins were knocked out in the first round of playoff competition last year, but are leading this series 2-1. They defended their home ice, dominating the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1 on the 20th. Scoring in the first minute and a half of play, the Bees kept their foot on the gas, grabbing 2 goals in the last 4 minutes of the second to go up 4-0. Jake DeBrusk scored twice, leading an offense which had speed on their side. The Leafs did get 1 back, winning 3-2 on the road. Boston grabbed their second win in a dramatic 4-2 final on the road. Scoreless through 1, the Leafs scored first, but Trent Frederick quickly evened it up. Goalie Jeremy Swayman was everywhere, making several phenomenal saves, including grabbing a loose puck surrounded by Leaf players to keep it tied 2-2 late in the third. Then who else but Captain Brad Marchand buried the game winner off a deflection, tying him with Cam Neely for the most playoff goals scored by a Bruin at 55. One topic that most people have an opinion on is parking, specifically parking in Lynn. The city hired a new parking director 6 months ago, and she joined us on the Lowdown to shed light on priorities and policies enforced by the department. Hello and welcome to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on the brand new parking director for the city of Lynn. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And first of all, would you just mind introducing yourself for the audience and saying a little bit about the role of the parking director?
Sure. So my name is Jessica Chiappini. I am the new city parking director, and my role here is to enforce the city's parking rules and regulations.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for our slight technical difficulties in the beginning, but we're pushing through. I like it. So, speaking of rules, you mentioned that is one thing you have a lot of experience with. You were an ordinance enforcement officer before this, and how did that transition go from that to parking director?
I was the city's ordinance enforcement officer for a little while. I heard through the grapevine that Bob may be retiring, and I was like, that is the rule that I want, because it's, again, enforcing rules and regulations just in parking versus city ordinance. So that's how that came about.
And some of them, they were changed a little or weren't being enforced much through COVID, so now coming out of that, or a few years after it, how have you been making sure that those ordinances are still enforced and really telling people about them?
So coming on and coming out of COVID, a lot of rules and regulations weren't being enforced for whatever reasons. Coming on, I had to pick up where Bob Stillian left off, which was implementing, or I don't want to say implementing, a new resident parking permitted system. It's just, it's being updated. It's going digital by license plate, and there's a fee to it, which people don't like. So I had to take that on. You had to go, all right, here we go, jump right in. Jump right in, head first.
So now that it is all digital, there also is a brand new portal that you launched. So is that how people go on and register, or how does that work?
Yes, so there is a new portal that every resident who, I first want to say that this system of resident parking isn't for every street in the city. Mm-hmm. I did get a lot of calls of upset residents who thought that I was making every residential street resident parking. That's not the case. If your street doesn't have a resident parking only sign, then this doesn't apply to you. Mm-hmm. Only streets that have resident parking ordinances have to go on to the new portal, create an account that would be specific to them, pay the $20 annual fee, and register their license plate.
And what about for people who are visiting? Is it a similar process? They have to go online and register beforehand?
So you would just log back into your account. We're telling people that if you're having someone stop over for a couple of hours, there's no need to register. Mm-hmm. It's more if the person is going to be there overnight or for multiple days. You can go in. There isn't a fee for a visitor. You would update their license plate, and it would expire after a week. Oh. So if they stayed longer than the week, then you would just have to go in and re-enter it. Otherwise, you can just leave it, because most guests don't stay longer than a week.
Yeah, most guests, you're going, okay, move on,
time
please.
To go.
Yeah, it's time to go home.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious, since it is all virtual and you don't, like have a sticker on your car, how do you know who's registered and who isn't?
So that was one of the reasons why the city has gone digital, is because besides it not being enforced, it was also being duplicated. People were making fake stickers, getting colored copies for the passes and putting them in the window, so there was no way to tell. So now it's by your license plate. We have license plate readers, they're called, that are on the city cars, and you ride by and it reads the license plate. It scans the license plate, and it will alert us if it's registered or not.
That's actually really cool.
It is cool, right? And if the license plate readers don't work, they can also, on their phones, their handhelds, scan the license plate, and it will read it for them. And I do want everyone to know that where it's still kind of new because we just started in January, and there's so many streets that are resident parking that we're giving warnings first. If it's the first time that our ordinance officer has gone down a street, he's issued a warning that looks like a citation, but it will just say, this is a warning, please register, and then it will have one of our flyers to register.
Okay, great. So you give people a little bit of leeway on that in case, like you said, it's so new, maybe someone hadn't gotten to it.
Absolutely.
And another thing too is for city lot permit parking. That's another thing that people can do. Let's say if they work downtown, if they have to drive downtown for any reason. Can you talk about the different passes people can get?
Sure. So another part of the permitting system is the municipal lot permits. And not only are workers downtown applying for the permits, but residents. With all the new high-rises, the city has implemented a new 3-tier system, which is a day pass or a night pass. Those are each $50, or you could get a 24-hour pass in one of the lots, and that is $100 a month.
Okay, that makes sense. And which lots do these apply to?
So the Buffum Street lot, which is located on Buffum Street, is a permitted lot only. So that particular lot, we don't have a kiosk. You have to have a permit to parking there. So that has all 3 types of passes. Then there's the Andrew Street lot, and that has both a kiosk and we offer permitted passes in there. Then there's the Wyoma Square lot, that's just kiosk. There's really not any passes in there, although we do offer some of the local businesses some passes because they need somewhere to park. But other than Buffum Street, that's the only really all permitted lot.
Like you need the permit to park.
That you need the permit to park, and you have to go onto the portal to register, and you can pay monthly by that.
And for people who have any questions, what are the best ways for them to ask? Online, calling, coming in?
Yeah. So they can get in touch with us by calling us at the Lynn Parking Department at 781-586-6868, or they can email us at parking@lynnma.gov.
And I'm curious, going in, are there any really common questions you get asked or common concerns that seem to come up a lot for the parking department?
As far as the permitting system, it would be, is this for every street? Mm-hmm. As far as the lots are concerned, it would be more, I didn't pay to park there before, so why do I have to pay to park there now? A lot of things weren't enforced that are being enforced now, and I'm just gonna say that it was due to COVID that they weren't being enforced, but there's rules and regulations for a reason, and we have to enforce them, especially with so many people living downtown now.
Oh yeah, it's exploding, it's bustling, there's a lot of people.
It's happening, right?
Yeah, it is happening. And I'm gonna pivot a little bit. You're the first female Black parking director, and I saw you on that Trailblazers panel, and I love the analogy you gave of if someone opens the door a little bit, you kick it all the way open.
You gotta kick it open. Kick it open and stay in the room, right?
Right. I love that. Where did you come up with that? Did you think of it spur in the moment?
I think it just came up. Because it's the truth. You can be given an opportunity, right, to be in a position which I have been given an opportunity. The person that I worked for before opened doors for me, allowed me to get in the room, and I kicked it open.
Which is it? I just love that. I went home and was like,
you're like, I'm gonna kick the door open.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You're doing that here. You're doing that here.
We try a little bit here. And I gotta ask, for people who are, coming up behind you and get these positions, what would you say to them? Keeping that door open for others.
I say make the connections within City Hall. Our mayor now has so many programs and group meetings at City Hall for employees to just be part of it and always reach back.
It's all about, you want to make it a cycle. You get somewhere, you help someone else, and they help another person.
Absolutely.
And you're coming into your first summer too, which is going to mean a lot of festivals, a lot of craziness. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good about it. I'm actually kind of excited about the lots because so many people are like, oh, we have to pay in the lots now. They look like crap. So I'm excited that we're going to hopefully have youth workers that can help us update the lots, beautify them. I put a couple of planters in some of the lots, so hopefully we can have some nice flowers in there and just make it more appealing. Maybe put some more lighting, do those types of things.
Do all those kinds of things. And I do wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else that you wanted to mention or any points I didn't hit?
No, I think that's all. I just want residents to know that our door at the parking department is always open. We're trying to be friendly. I know people don't want to come to the parking department and you don't want tickets, but we're here to help you through that.
And you're definitely taking great steps in that, making yourself and your staff more visible. So I want to thank you again for coming on and talking about it.
Thank you.
Of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Up next, the community calendar. Next Wednesday, the 1st, at 5:30 p.m., the New Lynn Coalition will be holding their annual May Day rally, beginning at City Hall and ending at the Commons Grandstand. At the Grandstand, there will be speakers from a variety of organizations, unions, and committees. This year, they are marching for democracy, a Gaza ceasefire, affordable housing, and food insecurity, to name a few. Join the city on Thursday, May 2nd from 6 to 7 p.m. for a virtual bilingual meeting to learn more about the former site of White's Laundry, which has sat contaminated and vacant for many years. The City of Lynn and EDIC were awarded a grant from the U.S. EPA to clean up and revitalize the site. In this meeting, presenters will discuss the site, various solutions to clean it up, and collect feedback on potential next steps from the community. The Lynn Museum is throwing it back with an 80s-themed prom fundraiser on May 3rd from 5:30 to 9 p.m. There will be a reception from 5:30 to 7, followed by a dance party from 7 to 9. Marking the 10-year anniversary of the Lynn Museum Cultural Campus, attendees can enjoy live music and the chance to view prom-related items in the museum's collection before putting on their dancing shoes and heading over to the vault. Tickets for the entire event are $45, $30 for just the reception, and $20 for the dance party, with museum members enjoying a 10% discount. With that, we have reached the end of the news for this week. Visit our website, LynnTV.org, for videos, our complete community calendar, and press releases, all for free. And follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television for breaking news, updated schedules, and photos from events. If staff and member content are more your thing, head to Lynn Community Television on YouTube for videos covering a wide variety of topics. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Daoulas Brothers Construction.